Yeah, he's gonna do that. Yeah, read that.
All right. Go ahead and call this meeting in order. First item is roll call.
Alderman Arnold.
Here.
Alderman Cleaver.
Here.
Alderman Knox.
Here.
Alderman Mills.
Here.
Alderman Skinner. Alderman Bray. Alderman Skinner, can you hear us?
Maybe there is that much of a delay.
Wow.
Okay. Is that much of a delay? So I better do the pledge then.
Yeah.
I don't see me from Valley Community Church, correct? All right. Next item, we'll move on to Pledge of Allegiance. And Alderman Skinner, can you hear me? If not, I can lead it.
Really long lag.
Yeah, I was like,
Wow.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next item is approval of the agenda.
No changes, Mayor.
Yeah, how much of a lag is it?
Wow.
That's a good lag.
What's up with that?
No changes? All right. Next item would be proclamations. We have a proclamation for National Future Business Leaders of America Week. And I believe we have Blake here, correct? They told me you were a little, she thought you were a little
Excited.
excited.
ready.
You say
He's
you might
ready.
you say you might be scared. Oh, yeah. If you want to come on up, I can see it.
You can take him.
Well, you can see what's right here. Turn around. We're at Future Business Leaders of America. FBLA is a nonprofit educational organization whose first chapter was established in Johnson City, Tennessee in 1942. Whereas Iowa became FBLA's first state chapter in 1947. Whereas Grand Valley High School is recognized as an FBLA local chapter. The FBLA includes more than 200,000 members and advisors in 46 other chapters nationwide at middle schools, high schools, colleges, universities, career graduate schools, and private business schools. Whereas FBLA is a professional business organization dedicated to bringing business and education together in a positive working relationship through innovative leadership and career development programs. And whereas FBLA members perform community service activities and strive to build a student's understanding of the realities of the modern business world. And whereas FBLA teaches middle school, high school, and college students basic business and leadership principles and assists them in the transition from school to work. Now, therefore, we proclaim at the City of Grand Valley Board of Aldermen, and I, Mayor Mike Todd, do hereby proclaim February 11th to 17th, 2024 as National FBLA Week in the City of Grand Valley, Missouri. Thank you.
Brian's reading. So he's 5 minutes behind us.
Yeah.
He's just clapping.
Okay, so no additional proclamations. We can move on to public comment. We ask any citizens who wish to address the board come forward to the podium and microphone. Make sure you've signed in if your name and address for the record, so we have that. Do we have anyone who wishes to address the board this evening? Okay. No.
You should sit closer up.
Jan Brill, 1035 Ephraim. I rise tonight to make an argument that is not well proven by our normal city council meeting, but I am not in favor of putting back the time of the council meeting because most people can't get here. They're not retired like I am. 6:30 even is a difficult time. I understand where it comes from, so I don't ever want to not offer a solution. It did occur to me that maybe you could have your executive meeting sessions before the city council meeting to get yourself home sooner. Or if it's not possible, I just think what it communicates to the community is we really don't want your input, the average person's input. I would have liked to have said this 2 weeks ago, because you all have thought about it for 2 weeks without my 2 cents. And so I'd like to suggest you consider either moving public comments to the end of the meeting so that somebody like me could have responded to this suggestion, or have a public comments for people who come, want to say something and get home. And then at the end of the meeting, simply ask, is there anybody who wants to say something about what happened to the meeting today? But I do think it indicates, this decision might very well indicate, certainly indicates to me, that you're less interested in community input, and by making it more difficult for people to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, anyone else wish to address the board? Seeing none, move on to the consent agenda. Okay, I have a motion from Alderman Skinner to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
He's on speaker.
Yeah, I was gonna say he-
Alright.
do his-
Any discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Seeing no previous business, new business presentations, or public hearings, we'll move on to resolutions. First resolution is R 24-12, a resolution by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Grand Valley adopting the updated social media policy.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve resolution number R 24-12.
Okay, a motion from Alderman Mills to approve resolution R 24-12. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Mayor, members of the board, this was, the last time it was updated was in 2018. In those 6 years, social media has changed quite a bit. And there is more guidance out there on, what people can and can't do and just the right way to go about it. So this is an attempt to just kind of modernize our social media policy, just putting out there what the expectations are, just having that on paper so that it's clear for everyone.
Do we have any questions or discussion?
So this is all new, or are there specific additions or changes? Because I read over what we had and there were blue titles for some of the sections. I don't know if that particular section was all being changed or if there's a small amount of being changed.
Ms. Ozenbaugh, do you want to speak to that?
So the colors you're referring to are more just to match branding and kind of what the documents look like. So the format of it is mostly the same. We have added things like under when we can remove comments, like we're having trouble with like bots and AI spamming us quite a bit, so we now can remove those. We clarified before, it didn't specifically say like profanity and things like that, so we were having to make judgment calls on when we could remove comments, which we keep track of all those things. And then it really kind of, a lot of it is still the same around, don't use your personal social media and speak for the city, things like that. But I would say the meat of it was really clarifying what we could delete off of Facebook if we needed to. And it was reviewed by a lawyer office before we moved it forward.
Okay. I know in the past we used to highlight, italicize, or underline to draw a distinction between things being removed and or added. And I think in the future, if we can continue that, it would help.
Yes, I agree. I think this one was a little difficult because the whole format changed slightly on it. Because I was even looking at them side by side in preparation, and it wasn't like we could just redline something and put something in its place. The whole format changed a little bit, but yeah.
And some of it read to me like it was a cut and paste from a business guidelines or whatever, because it refers to company as opposed to the city when it was talking about the authority to do certain things. So I don't know if that's something we want to readdress or make it more personal with it, stating the city instead of the company in those particular areas. But
We can certainly make those edits. That's an easy
and
one.
I know you were doing a lot with it. And
Yeah.
I could see where things like that might be overlooked. But
And typically when we start this process, like this, our PIO is part of the RAPIO group, and they usually share and take policies so it, works and matches other cities and what they're doing around. But
Now,
We can change that if you would be more comfortable.
yeah, you don't need to rewrite the book if somebody else has got something.
For sure.
out there, so, yeah. So,
Additional questions or discussion? All right. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right. Next up is Resolution R 24-13. It's a resolution by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Grand Valley authorizing the city administrator to purchase 8 security cameras for Monkey Mountain Park.
Might as well.
Yep.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve resolution R 24-13.
Okay, I got a motion by Alderman Skinner to approve Resolution R 24-13. Do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Knox. Any discussion?
Mayor, members of the board, if you remember back to budget time, one of the capital items that Mr. Davies had proposed for Parks and Rec was the replacement of cameras at Monkey Mountain. The camera system that we've had out there has been, say, troublesome, I guess, to say the least, and not user-friendly for Mr. Davies to use. So this proposal would be to purchase 8 cameras to put out there, and they would be the same brand that we have gone to and all of the other buildings that are a lot more user-friendly and we think will last us into the future.
Do you have any discussion or questions? All right. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Next up, will be Resolution R 24-14. It's a resolution by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Grand Valley authorizing the city administrator to sign a contract with the company Flock to install automatic license plate readers within the City of Grand Valley.
Mayor, I move we approve resolution R 24-14.
A motion by Alderman Arnold to approve Resolution R 24-14. Do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Mills. Any discussion?
Mayor, members of the board, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Turner to give an overview.
Thank you. Mayor, members of the board, I want to thank you for the opportunity to share this. You may have seen in your packet, there's quite a bit of information. We know part of the agenda for the city is to improve our technology, like we just had seen with Monkey Mountain. We've seen a lot of technology and criminal advances, how criminals are addressing crime. I can give you a quick example before I lead into this is recently you saw in the news the skimmers that were placed on the gas pumps. Those hit in multiple areas. This was Captain Christensen just reminded me of this again today, was that person was caught because of license plate readers. That person was not a resident of this country. Even if us been able to track him down would have been very difficult. Without the criminals using technology, we're trying to leverage technology for our benefit. We have safeguards in place that would allow us to monitor those, any activity we use on those. It's been made known to me when you approve to move forward with the license plate readers on the cars, and I've addressed that with the community. This, as alluded to in this resolution, is that will provide us to be in comparison with all of our area municipalities and the counties, and then networking us together so that we're communicating and talking together. I will add just this footnote that it's been my experience that the majority of the crime that happens in our city happens from people that may not live in our city. And for our ability to understand who's coming and going into our city, it's paramount in us to be able to have the information to keep our community safe. It leverages that technology so that we have starting points at which to investigate back and identify who might have contributed or been present during that time. Happy to take questions, and that was kind of a quick flyover.
Okay. I have a couple. We talked about this last time. I just want to make sure. So with the information and how it's saved, I know that we had some concerns last time from citizens about information being saved and who had access to that. And I know it says in the packet. Can you kind of just give us a little overview of that?
Sure, that's a good question. So every keystroke that's made inside of the program is captured. So anyone that's logged in and does anything inside the program, there's an audit. You can audit any of that information, and there's checks and balances in policy. We do have a policy that would outline those stipulations and requirements. So by state law, we're required to retain any that evidence we take in or information we take in for at least 30 days. So those would be on record for 30 days, after which they will be removed. But for those 30 days, we would have access to that. We're required to for sunshine law. So there's kind of went a little bit further than what you may have been talking about, but I think I covered that.
And then the other thing was, and the last time we also had concerns about being able to identify customers at certain businesses. I mean, I know like with this gas stations and the skimmers and stuff, we want to be able to do that, but I think, I don't know if you can allude to that, how that works.
Yeah, similar to what I alluded to when I began, was that there was questions about how they might be deployed. We, again, would have those audits internally that we can identify if people are, if there's ever concern or complaint of anything being misused, we would be able to identify that through this tracking system. But the system's not set up that we would go look for people or patrons, citizens doing daily, regular activity. These have really been leveraged to look for violent crimes. Unfortunately, as we've seen of late, we've experienced a few of those in our community, unfortunately. And again, it's used to identify those elements so we can it not only keep the community safe, but give the community reassurance that they're safe of those criminals that might come into our city.
Any other discussion or questions?
Yeah, part of those policies you have is that using this license plates reader, you have to have some justifiable reason to be scanning the plate to see who it belongs to, if there's any records or anything involving that vehicle.
Yeah, it would be similar to now if we run a license plate in the computer. Generally, there's a nexus to something that's suspicious or concerning or criminal, and then in follow-up to that, we could literally run the plate, or now the officers have computers in the car, they can run them in a computer. This is just an automated way in which we do that. Again, the alerts, when these computers run the license plate, there are some of them that have criminal activity or concerns, missing persons, amber alerts, silver alerts, stolen autos, carjackings. They will be entered into the system abroad, and then that will those are the ones that will alert to us if they meet that threshold of activity that would alert the officer. At that point, they would confirm through dispatch by running the license plate if time exists to confirm that hit. So.
Any questions or discussion? All right. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. All right. That's it for resolutions.
This is the first reading of Bill Number B24-03. This is an ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Green Valley, Missouri, amending sections 110.050 and 110.060 of the Municipal Code.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we accept Bill B 24-03 for its first read and bring it back by title only at our next regular meeting.
I got a motion by Alderman Knox to approve Bill B24-03 for its first reading, bringing it back by title only for its second reading. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Alderman Cleaver. Any discussion?
Mayor, members of the board, this is what was requested of staff at the last meeting. But just going to go over the changes. The one change would be moving the regular meeting time from 7 to 6:30. The other changes that were made gave some guidance on what we could do as far as virtual meetings. If the mayor saw fit for any reason to hold a virtual meeting versus an in-person meeting, and kind of the regulations on posting those. But essentially it was kind of a cleanup. I don't think it had been looked at since 1995. So there was a little bit of difference in options on hand delivering things and things like that we cleaned up a little bit. So aside from the meeting time, it was kind of a cleanup process, I guess, for an old code as far as regular meeting process.
Okay. Any questions or discussion?
I spoke with people since the last meeting, and they shared the same concerns that Mrs. Brill served. Having the meeting earlier, it makes less time for getting off work, getting something to eat, and getting to a meeting here. I understand the need to be, responsive to some of the members on the board as to the timelines that are there. But we took these positions to serve and be available to the public, and by making our meetings earlier, it makes us less available. Now, I do understand our potential participation in meetings is down considerably until there is an issue that they feel they want to come to. But that's the first thing you're going to hear from them, is that you're having those meetings earlier so people can attend and voice their concerns when they do have concerns. So I see that as a valid concern. I've experienced organizations that would have meetings at times that would make it difficult for people to attend. So I don't think that's what we're trying to do here, but it's an inadvertent something that happens with this action.
No questions or discussion?
I'm wondering if maybe we put the comments that we don't take a second run at this and maybe discuss it a little farther, or give us a little more time to digest some of this and some of the thoughts that were brought up.
Well, I mean, me personally, it's 30 minutes. It's, if people really want to come to the meeting, which obviously we don't have much participation, I don't see where 30 minutes would really hold someone up from coming to the meeting. I think it's more based on, staff and us, too, is, starting so late, inconvenience. If something changes where we start getting 10 people that want to come to the meeting and everybody says, oh, I can't get there by 6:30, which, I think 90% of everybody that gets off at 5 o'clock can usually get here by 6:30. And if it's important enough, we all can get here early or skip a meal till later, as far as that goes. But that's kind of my thought, is I don't see why,
Good point.
30 minutes, I don't see where that really is an end all to help out people getting home earlier to their families. But
Additional discussion? All right. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.
Nay?
That's it for ordinances. Next up, city attorney's reports.
Mr. Mayor, members of the board, we had our first meeting to start talking about city officials training. So just a reminder that season is going to be upon us again soon. So we're probably going to be doing our first training on April 19th. That's a Friday. Hasn't been solidified yet, but I will keep updating you as we get those plans nailed down. Would love to have all of the elected officials and city staff come and get a refresher and utilize some time to get that update. So thank you.
Next up, city administrator and staff reports.
We didn't really have anything. I just wanted to send a thank you to our public works crews that have been out trying to get a hold of the patching after the winter storms. I know that's pretty much a full-time job, but they have been out there making an effort, so hopefully that is being noticed. That's it.
Next up, Board of Aldermen reports and comments. Alderman Arnold.
Nothing at this time.
Alderman Mills.
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Alderman Skinner. Alderman Knox.
How about those Chiefs?
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver.
nothing tonight.
Next up, mayor's report. I just have one thing. We did have our, we met with downtown businesses last week to discuss First Fridays. So we'll be bringing information to the board here in the near future regarding needing to get permission for park food trucks and parking spots along the streets and what streets we're looking at closing. So we'll be bringing that information to you guys shortly. We do have, and for anyone watching, we do have a survey up right now. If you go to the Grand Valley Fair Facebook page regarding
what other types of activities you would like to see us bring for First Fridays. I mean, of course, we're gonna have the food trucks and the vendors, but like what other kinds of things. So we put some options on there, like, bounce houses, things like that. So things, to get the families down there and get them some more time. And, of course, it'd be like free activities. So if you have a chance, get on and take that survey so we have that information available to us so we can make better informed decisions. Next up then is executive session. I believe we do have one for,
One legal, two real estate.
okay, so for legal and real estate. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn into executive session. A motion, Alderman Knox, I have a second.
Second.
Second, Alderman Mills. Any discussion? All right, this will be a roll call. Alderman Arnold? Yes. Alderman Mills?
Yes.
Alderman Skinner? We can carry you in there, so you'll be good. Alderman Knox?
Yes.
Alderman Cleaver?
Yes.
All right, we'll adjourn the executive session.